Hi, I'm Joanne Peters, a partner at Isaac Brandt Ledman and Teeter in Columbus, Ohio. Our phone is 614-221-2121. I wanted to talk to you today briefly about the two ways that you can terminate your marriage. If, unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately, you and your spouse have decided to terminate your marriage, there are basically two ways in the state of Ohio that you can achieve that. One is through filing a petition for dissolution, and one is filing for divorce. So what's the difference between the two? Well, dissolution is where you and your spouse agree on everything that you need to agree on to terminate your marriage, such as separation of assets, separation of liabilities, and parenting of your children if you have children. If you can't agree, though, you're going to have to file a complaint or a petition for divorce. And when you file that complaint, you then are asking the court to help you determine how things ought to be split up or how the parenting ought to occur. So you're involving the court sort of as a third party in deciding how your marriage will be terminated. If you can reach agreement, that's usually the best, and if you file a petition for dissolution, you will have a hearing that will be set no earlier than 30 days after you file the petition and no later than 90 days after you file the petition. And at that hearing, you and your spouse would appear, you would represent to the court that you did reach agreement, and the court would order the termination of your marriage. If you file for divorce, it's a longer process. You usually go through the discovery process where each side asks the other for documents, information, maybe go through some negotiations, and ultimately if you still can't reach agreement, then you would have a trial where the court would take testimony and listen to the witnesses and then issue an order on the different terms as to how the assets are going to be separated, how the liabilities are going to be separated, and what is going to happen with regards to the parenting of your children if you have any children. So those are the two ways that you can terminate your marriage. We here at Isaac Brandt are happy to help. I'm happy to help you navigate your way through those issues if you are at the point where you want to terminate your marriage. One thing I just want to add at the end here is something that a lot of people don't know is that any property that you had prior to entering into the marriage is what's known as your separate property. And when you come out of the marriage, that separate property is returned to you. There are, of course, a few little exceptions and nuances to this general rule, but I wanted to let you know that because that's something that people commonly ask me about. If you have any other questions, again, give me a call, 614-221-2121.